Welcome to Free Life Science class. I am Purnima. Today we are going to learn about maternal effect genes. Basically, this is an introduction class and we will discuss more about maternal effect genes in the class 2. So, what are maternal effect genes? So, before going into that, you must know some basics. So, we can move into the basic steps. That is, what is cell differentiation and how one cell will develop into many. So there are different processes that are taking place in the process of development. That the first one is there are the formation of different types of cell. A second one is the different types of cells are seen in different locations. And the third thing is the cell shape and structure is different. It is not identical for all the cell. It is different. And also about their functions are also different. Basically, we know that a single cell will develop into an organism. So one cell will develop into many, and this many will develop into many different types. So we can see this type of development in embryonic stage, isn't it? Okay, so let me ask one question. What is genomic equivalence? Do you know about genomic equivalence? Each somatic cell nucleus has the same chromosome. If you have a doubt, you can take a cell from your hair follicle and also from your cheek cells and also from your leg cells, but you will get the same set of genes in every cell when you take the cells from same organism from different places. That means every cell have the same amount of genes. Okay, next, what is differential gene expression? So now we have said what is genomic equivalence. The other question is differential gene expression. That means your heart cell perform a different function, but the cell that is located in kidney to another function. So something is different in both cells. Actually, this is the process. The differential gene expression is the process in which a cells become different from one another based upon the unique combination of genes that are active or expressed. So in different locations, the gene expressed is different. Okay. By expressing different genes, cells can create different proteins that lead to the differentiation of different cells. Let's discuss about three postulates of differential gene expression. Postulate number 1. Every somatic cell nucleus of an organism contains the complete genome established in the fertilized egg. So in molecular terms, the DNAs of all different cells are identical. It means that in every somatic nucleus, you can take different cells or same cells or the cells performing different functions. You can choose any different cells from the same organism and compare for the genomic content. You will get the same amount of genomic content in the cells. That is postulate number 1. And about postulate number 2. The postulate number 2 says that the unused gene in differential cells are neither destroyed nor mutated. They retain the potential for being expressed. So the postulate number 2 says that This is a cell. It contains DNA and only a portion of DNA is expressed. That is differential gene expression. And this postulate says that the other portion which are not expressing means they are not get destroyed. They are not mutated. They are present there but they are not expressed. If you need their potential, if you need their action, they can retain their potential and they can express. So the postulate number 2 says that the unused gene can be retain their potential for being expressed. Okay. And then third postulate number 3. Postulate number 3 says that only a small percentage of the genome is expressed in each cell and a portion of RNA synthesized in each cell is specific for that cell type. This postulate says that we already discussed about this. That is only a small portion, very small percentage of the DNA is expressed in each cell. And this gene synthesize RNA only for the function of this cell. That is, this cell requires some proteins and that protein coding genes will be expressed in this cell. And if you take another cell, here the proteins will be different and the RNA synthesis is different. So the gene expressing verb will be different. So this is postulate number 3. Only a small percentage of the genome is expressed in each cell and a portion of RNA synthesized in each cell is specific for that cell type. Okay. Let's move. So let's move into the next slide. That is maternal effect. So what is maternal effect? So we have to know about maternal effect. You know one thing, the zygote is formed from the fusion of a male and female gamete. In most organisms, the male-female gamete is larger and contribute cytoplasm for the developing embryo. And the zygote receives the cytoplasm from the female gamete, not from the male gamete. And this cytoplasm have some factors that control the expression of the offspring. That means the expression of the phenotype of the offspring. So we can say that what is the maternal effect? A phenotype of the offspring is designated by the genotype of the mother. Okay, so this is meant by maternal effect. So what is maternal effect? Maternal effect means a phenotype, not the genotype. Clearly understand that only the phenotypical expression is controlled by the maternal genotype. Okay. For example, you can understand well with an example, that is, here you can see this beautiful picture. In this picture, you can see the shell coiling of the snail. So the shell coiling of the snail, here you can see two type of coiling, that is, one is dextral coiling and the other one is sinistral coiling. In the dextral type, the D, capital D, is dominant. So the dextral is dominant and the sinistral is recessive type, that is small d, small d. When this is crossed, here you just see that a female parent is dextral and the male parent is sinistral. Here you get capital D, small d. No doubt that D is dominant, so you will get dextral type. When you self this F1 generation, you will get 4 offspring with capital D and 2 capital D small d and 1 small d small d. You just look into this picture. What can you see? You can see a dextral type. How is this possible? This is because the mother's genotype will control the phenotypical expression of the offspring. That is, the mother cytoplasm have the factors for the expression of dextral type. Hence, it is dextral. So, let's look into the second type of example. Here you can see that the shell coiling of mother, that is female parent, is sinistral, and the father, that is male parent, is, one second, a male parent is dextral. So here you can see the genotype is small d, and the genotype of the male is capital D, capital D. So when we cross this sinistral type, that is the genotype d, small d with capital D, you will get an offspring with capital D, small d. So from the genotype, you should have a dextral offspring. But the expression of the phenotype of the offspring is controlled by the mother. That is, the offspring will definitely have a sinistral type. Please look into this figure. Here you see the dextral type of coiling because here the mother have the dextral type of coiling. And after that, again, like this, when we self here, likewise we are going to self this one. Here capital D, small d with again capital D, small d. So the both the parents, the female parent as well as the male parent, have the genotype of capital D, small d. And the offspring will be, all the offspring will be dextral type. Please look this one. You can see this one. So we successfully completed the introduction to maternal effect genes. In the part 2 video, we will discuss more about maternal effect genes, different types of maternal effect genes, and the mechanism of maternal effect gene, and also about the segmentation genes, and also about the polarity of an embryo. So if you liked my video, please give me a thumbs up. It will be a great support for me. And also click on the bell icon so that you will get notifications when I upload new video and the part 2 video also. So one more thing, if you are new to my channel, also please subscribe to this channel so we can meet in the part 2 video.